everybody, this is Charles again with another video, and this is a new video of my discussion series where I talk about things like comics, movies, video games, toys, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Doctor Who, Transformers, G.I. Joe, all that good nerdy stuff, because there's lots of topics to cover in my discussion series. And this discussion video will be talking about army building. And for those who may or may not know what army building is, for us toy collectors, it's the practice of buying more than one copy of a generic nameless character to build up an army, hence the name army building, or also known as troop building. And the best known example is the Stormtrooper from Star Wars, but there's plenty of other good examples too, like the Cobra Trooper from G.I. Joe, the Hydra Soldier and AIM Soldier from Marvel, Parademons from DC, Viacons from Transformers, and for Power Rangers, there's so many armies and henchmen type characters that I can't name them all, so I'll just name the most famous one, the Putty Patrollers, or just the Putties. And you would think it's just bad guys, but there's plenty of good guy army building characters too, like the Federation officers with the red uniform from Star Trek, or better known as the Red Shirts. Or the Steel Brigade Trooper from G.I. Joe, the Auto Trooper from Transformers. So you get the idea what army building is and what the concept is. So for us collectors, why do we army build? Well, you would think that buying more than one generic character would be boring, but having an army of them, armies and armies and armies, that makes your displays and collection even more impressive. But do we all army build? I mean, I know plenty of collectors who may or may not army build, and there's a variety of reasons, like when we started off as kids, and that was before we get jobs and our own income, and we had to rely on our parents to buy our toys, I doubt that parents would want to buy the same copy of the toy you already have. And sometimes there's even budget costs too, like you can't buy every single army building character there is, and it can be very difficult. Or it can be by choice, like there are people who only buy one singular army building character because they have no interest in army building. They just want the particular character itself just for display, and they only care about the figure. But financial reasons can be one of the main reasons why we don't army build, or it can be by choice, like I said. And because they're army building characters, do you have a limit? Like, do you stop at a particular number? Like, for example, like for me, if I actually do army build, like I would say at least 5, at most 10. And I know some collectors have their limits too, like what number do they stop at, because as much as we love to collect, especially army building, we do need money and space, and that's the struggle of being a collector. Money and space. And while there are army building characters, sometimes there are different divisions of a particular army. Like for example, like I mentioned with Stormtroopers, and sometimes even Clone Troopers, there are different divisions, battalions, squads, and teams for army building characters. Like the best known example is the 501st Legion of the Clone Troopers. There's also the 212th Attack Battalion. There's Snow Troopers, there's Shore Troopers, and sometimes it's good to limit what amount of toys you have. Like, for example, like if I wanted to say I wanted to buy an army of Stormtroopers, I would say I would buy around 5 or 10, But if there's a special type of stormtrooper army building character, like, I don't know, like a stormtrooper commander, I would buy maybe 3, 4, or 5. And that's a good practice when you army build, like when there's different divisions, teams, squads, battalions, legions. It's good to limit those numbers too and add much more variety. And army building, as fun as it is costly too. So there are companies who do kind of make it a little convenient for us collectors to buy like multi-packs and battle packs. Like, for example, Marvel Legends, Hasbro released a 2-pack of 2 individual Hydra soldiers, so it's much easier for us to army build. So this has been it for my discussion series, and I wanted to ask you a question. Do you army build, or do you just buy a single figure of an army building character? And why? And do you have a limit to how many you buy if you do army build? Let me know down in the comments. So this has been it for my latest discussion episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.